Today I'm going to share with you the most impressive camera I've ever tested, but unfortunately it's a restricted prototype, so I can't show you the body and I can only share certain results with you at this time, but it's in this nondescript box and it is amazing. Let's get undone.
Gerald Undone. He's crazy.
What's happening, everybody? I'm Gerald Undone and I will never stand between a Komodo dragon and a tree. Alright. So this exciting camera is the result of a brand new partnership between Panasonic and Sony to make a camera with all the features you've come to love and expect from the Lumix lineup, but with the speed and advanced tech of Sony cameras, including, of course, a hybrid phase detect autofocus system. I'm told that likely the name of the initial flagship will be the Sonosonic Alpha 1H, and they're planning to announce it on April 1st. I don't have any concrete information on price, but I'm told they're looking to place it somewhere between $500 and $15,000 US. And neither party has sponsored this video, nor do they get any input on this video's production, and I don't get to keep the camera. But let's talk a little about the sensor that's in here. It's using a brand new EBT ALF sensor that I'm told internally stands for even bigger than Alexa LF, and it comes in at just over 130 megapixels and is capable of recording 16K up to 30 frames per second, and it can also do 8K at 120p or 4K at 240p with no crop or overheating. You can also shoot 130 megapixel RAW photos at a burst rate of 60 images per second with an unlimited buffer, because this camera takes dual M.2 NVMe drives for extremely fast recording with redundancy, and it comes with a caddy for those drives to connect directly to your computer for fast and efficient editing right off the drive. They managed to solve any overheating issues by making the frame of the body out of a new magnesium, titanium, and adamantium alloy blend that keeps the internal operating temperature below 42.0 degrees Celsius at all times. It uses a new battery type that I'm not able to show you at this time, but I was averaging about 6 hours of 16K recording before I ran out of juice, but it can run for longer via USB power delivery. As I mentioned, the autofocus is extraordinary. I'd say it's about 10% better than the best we've seen from Sony already, which was already impressive, and it can autofocus down to minus 10 stops underexposed with no issues. Look at this shot here, for example. It was completely pitch black, but the autofocus kept me perfectly in focus the entire time, regardless of what I did. Truly outstanding. And of course, it compensates for any focus breathing your lens might have, so that's great. I'll be going into more detail about the body and ergonomics at a later date when I'm allowed to show the camera and when they've improved some of the cosmetic touches. But so far, I can say that it has been an absolute pleasure to use. I particularly like the new 6-way tilt flip screen. The IBIS doesn't have the latest firmware yet, so I haven't been able to fully test it, but they're using a new internal 4D stabilization system that seems to be incredibly promising. Think of it like the new Ronin gimbal camera, but with that built right into the sensor. I'm very excited to test this further. Oh, and speaking of firmware, they have a long list of great updates planned for this camera in the coming months. Currently, the rolling shutter is solid at around 12 milliseconds, but they plan to change that to a global shutter via firmware by the end of April. They're also planning to add an SDI port, an extra record button, and a higher resolution viewfinder, all via firmware in the coming months. That kind of thing is always great to see. Lastly, let's talk about dynamic range and image quality. I was able to test it using my Xyla 21, and I'm happy to announce that this is the first camera I've tested to be able to read all 21 stops on my test chart. And when you factor noise into the equation, even with noise reduction turned off, I managed to get a clean 18 stops with a signal noise ratio of 2. This is an exceptional result, the best I've ever tested. But what's even more impressive is how this camera handles noise. It doesn't have a dual native ISO, but instead uses a new technology called a triple gain turbo encabulator, which allows you to shoot all the way up to 1.6 million ISO with barely any visible noise in the shot. Here, check out this shot of the color checker as I go through the ISO range. I bet you can barely see the noise change even as we get past 102,400 ISO. It's wild how far we've come when it comes to controlling noise like this. Now, I don't have the manufacturer's let yet to test the color accuracy of the new log profile, which is being tentatively named Captain's Log, but things are looking good so far based on the Rec 709 modes in the camera. Finally, because this is a partnership between Panasonic and Sony, you're going to have 2 mount options. You can get it in Sony E-mount, or you can continue to take part in the L-mount alliance if you wish to do so. And that's all the information I can share at this time. Be sure to check back on April 1st for the official announcement of this incredible camera. All right, I'm done.